Hello and welcome to the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Ian.
See, I'm trying not to sound so damn robotic. I don't know why I always say it like that, though. I'm like, my name is Nick.
I don't know. I don't think I noticed it.
I don't mean for it to sound like that, but...
Well, you know, just don't be a robot, Nick. Jesus Christ.
Cheese and rice.
Yes.
My name is Nick.
Hey, Jesus Christ. I used to say.
There was a... So when I worked at the law firm in Nashville, obviously it was immigration. So
obviously.
We had a lot of Hispanic people in there, but there was one day we had two different guys that weren't in there together, but one guy's name was Perfecto, and the other guy's name was Innocente. And the attorney was like, "Yeah, all we need is a Jesus, and we got the trifecta."
Right. That's funny.
Good times. They just I was on Instagram a couple days ago, and they had one of the people I worked with there posted a picture of like their Christmas party or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, I kind of miss working there."
Our Christmas party's going on right now.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, we're not there.
Obviously, I had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 people ask me if I was going, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I am."
Well, we were supposed to RSVP.
Whatever, you don't have to.
Yeah, well, obviously I didn't.
So
I didn't
obviously I'm not going this year.
No.
I was supposed to go last year too, and I didn't go last year.
Yeah. No, we recorded last year at that time too.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh well.
Well, okay, so we were supposed to. Originally we were going to record a day earlier, but Ian traded a shift, and
yeah,
because originally I was like, "Oh, we can record on Friday, and then I can go on Saturday to the."
I was being
Christmas
nice
party.
and I helped somebody out, so
yeah, and it's good because Ian was in like a head-on car crash this week, and kind of ruined his week anyway. So
yeah,
so Ian died. This Ian's ghost I'm sitting here talking to.
Yeah, and much like my living self, I didn't bring notes.
Oh.
No. It wasn't.
No notes, ghost.
It was not a fatal crash, but it was pretty bad. So
yeah. Well, it's a good thing you're alive.
Yeah.
If
good
not,
thing everyone was alive. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good thing. Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, because that would. I'd feel really shitty if I was like in a car accident and I survived and like killed other people.
Yeah, that would be I just don't. I wouldn't want that on my conscience.
Yeah.
At all. So
yeah.
But on a happier note,
I don't know what's going on a happier note.
I don't know, but
there's an impeachment going on. How about that?
Well, to some that's a happier note. To others, that's not.
I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I mean,
yeah. There's a guy he made news like a few years ago because he's a huge Trump supporter. He was like a high school coach. I think he even lost his job over some other thing, but
okay.
He does a podcast now, and he's kind of like crawled up the ranks within like that group.
Of what, podcasters?
Well, no, of Trump supporters.
Oh, okay. You can actually crawl up?
I don't think you can go anywhere but up from that.
That's true, I guess.
Anyway, but I mean, a lot of his stuff comes from a fundamental religious place. But he basically said the other day that, and I quote, that Schiff, I can't remember his first name.
Adam Schiff?
Is either possessed by a demon or is a demon. And then he said the same thing about Nancy Pelosi. Either way, there's something non-human about them, and that's why they're going after Trump.
This is the thing I don't understand. If you are a religious person, and I don't want to
generalize.
I don't want to like sound like I'm attacking religious people because
you are one.
I am one.
Yeah.
But then again, that also sounds like I can't be a racist. I have a black friend,
right?
You know,
well,
but
you can't be a racist because you're black. That would make you're a religious person.
Still,
you can't really. I mean,
I don't understand how if you're a religious person and you believe, regardless of what your views are, Ian, or anyone else's, if you are a religious person and you believe the Bible and you believe the teachings of Jesus Christ, how you can support a president like Donald Trump. It defies logic.
Right. And he has a very strong evangelical following.
And it makes zero sense. Because if you are a religious person and you believe the Bible and you believe in Jesus Christ, you can't support him. He flies in the face of everything you believe in.
Apparently not. I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
I know.
Because, I mean, I don't get it either. I mean, I know what the Bible says. And that doesn't make any sense. But people are people. At the end of the day, they're voting because he feeds the evangelical view. His running mate is an evangelical man. In theory. In theory. Not in theory. Mike Pence is a fundamentalist.
Okay, but what has he done in his
career?
I don't know his private life.
Right.
In his career, what has he done to push anything that would align itself with the teachings of Jesus Christ? I would say nothing really.
Well, if you would ask him, he would say his strong stance against the abomination that is homosexuality.
Because Jesus talked about homosexuality.
I'm just telling you what he would say.
How many times did Jesus talk about
None.
homosexuality in the Bible?
I don't know if he did.
0.
Yeah.
It was 0 times. Other people talked about it, but Jesus never discussed it in the Bible. It was such a huge abomination that he never talked about it. Okay.
He didn't really go up against slavery all that much either.
Okay.
But, and that is kind of a big deal. But
then again, it was also a couple thousand years ago too.
Well, he's the son of God. He should have been able to see 1,000 years in the future, but don't get me started. Anyway, you're right. I'm not denying what you're saying about Pence, but piety has no bearing on logic.
Yeah.
It never has. And let's face it, Pence is a pious man.
Look, I consider myself a religious person, but I also see a lot of hypocrisy in modern religion.
Of course.
And the people that claim to be religious leaders, but yet do absolutely nothing that would align itself with the teachings of Jesus Christ. Yeah.
No, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean,
look at Joel Osteen, who...
Oh, don't get me started on Joel Osteen.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
When you've got people in need during a natural disaster, and you turn your back on those people,
right? Not only that,
how can you
turn your entire church again, and you close your church to them?
Yes,
that they helped build, by the way, with their money.
Exactly. Okay, so how is that? Where does that work with your religion? It doesn't. Right.
Well, I think you and I are probably on the same page as far as organized religion goes.
Yeah.
We may have difference of opinions on, the higher concepts thereof. But as far as organized religion, I think you and I probably see eye to eye.
Yeah.
It's money. It's Pat Robertson.
That's
Pat
Robertson.
Robertson.
That's all it is.
Pat Robertson has been doing the 700 Club for as long as I've been alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, longer.
Okay. Now, during the 2016 election, he was selling these survival buckets because if Hillary Clinton won, you're going to need them because the end of the world was coming. Trump wins. Yay. He's still selling the buckets because now everyone's trying to get Trump out of office.
Yes.
It's money. It's all money. I would argue that that's the whole point of it, but money and control. But, if you take that out of the equation, you're still left with two separate dynamics.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as non-confrontational about it as I possibly can, because that's not what we're talking about today.
That's not all we're talking about. But that's kind of the one thing I do like about Mayor Pete is he's able to kind of confront Republicans on their religious beliefs.
He tries to anyway. I don't think you can, and you can't get through that bubble. The one thing that organized religion has is it has a very strong protective shield around it. And take that shield and now add on to it the Republican shield that is around them.
Yeah.
That they've created to keep all rational thought out. It's almost impenetrable. It's never nothing he says, and primarily because no matter what he says, whether they like it or not, whether they agree with it or not, it's coming out of the mouth of a homosexual.
Yeah,
and they're not going to buy it.
No,
they're not going to buy it.
That's always kind of the thing. That's the thing that's kind of got me so far about the Democratic field, is at least on the area of religion. Why has all but one candidate for president, given the Republican Party the religious vote? Automatically, okay, I know you're not going to win a majority of it at all. You're not even going to come close to it.
Right.
But why automatically give up on that? Pete is the only person that talks about religion at all.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know. And you don't need to talk about religion in a, I'm going to govern this way. I'm not going to govern because that's how he approaches it. He doesn't approach it and say, look, he doesn't say I'm a religious person. I'm going to govern with my religious beliefs.
Right. No, and I wouldn't suspect he would. My view is it shouldn't have a place at all. Period. It has no bearing.
It's going to though because
people need it to. But logically it shouldn't.
Here's the thing though. It is a very large block in our country.
Yeah, it's down to 67%, but
that's still a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, it's still a super majority.
So
sure.
Why
it was 75%?
Why are when you know that this is such a big part of such a huge segment of our population? Why are the Democrats automatically going? All right, you're over there. Just stay over there.
You think it's overcompensation because Republicans push it so hard?
But that's the kind of the thing that originally drew me to Pete, was that he's open to talking about this. Understanding that it's not a comfortable topic for a lot of people to talk about, and he's still willing to talk about it.
And I commend him for that. But as soon as he brought it up at that, was it the first debate or the second debate?
I don't know.
I think it was the first. I didn't really pay attention after that. The first debate, once he brought that up, I completely zoned out on him.
Why?
Because I don't want to hear about that. It has no bearing. Yes, what he said was absolutely true, but because he was calling them out on their hypocrisy,
and that's something that should draw you to him.
I agree with him.
That he's trying to show, look, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because this man does not represent you or represent your beliefs.
Well, he doesn't represent us on anything. He doesn't.
No. He represents himself.
He does, exactly. The problem is
hence the impeachment.
What zoned me out is because I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what he's going to do about making healthcare affordable for those who need it. Mm-hmm. I want to hear what he has to say about his foreign policy, because we don't need any more fucking wars. Mm-hmm. And we need to really kind of work on getting the other ones we're in done with.
Okay.
I want to hear that.
Which he is talking about.
Which he is, but when you bring that up, and any of the Democrats bring up that other stuff, it just starts to cloud. It's taking away from those talks.
But it's not. It depends on how you talk about it, in what context, and how much time you spend.
There's too much shit that needs to be done.
If they have an entire debate, and they spend half the time talking about religion, then yes, I would agree with you. Mm-hmm. But if you literally take 15 to 20 seconds and say something quick about it and then move on, at that point, once he did that, no one could bring it up without just being like, oh, well, he brought it up, I have to bring it up. So, and I don't care. Because we need, regardless if it's religion or whatever it is, we need people in this country that are in powerful positions that are willing to stand up and call out hypocrisy. Because it is regardless if it's religion or censorship or political correctness, we have a problem in the country that no one talks about, and that's hypocrisy. Well, I can't disagree with that, but that's never going to change. It's always been that way. It's more open now. It is more open. It is more open. It's easier to call it out now, but it's part of the DNA at this point. But I just don't. I mean, you can minimize it, and like I said, I commend him for doing what he did. But I get the feeling too, and this could just be the jaded side of me,
But in my mind, when it happened too, I was just thinking, okay, he's got to sell himself to the people, even on our side, who might be socially liberal, but religiously standoffish about that, about his lifestyle.
My thing though is lifestyle aside, bringing up religion in a Democratic debate, who is he pandering to in the Democratic Party?
But that's what I'm saying.
Because he's really not.
No, but you can't deny that there are probably still Democrats who, like I said, might be socially liberal to a point, but religiously apprehensive about voting for a homosexual.
Yeah.
Democrats aren't perfect. We're not socially perfect.
No, and that's, and I've talked about it on
so
here
that
before,
could have just been to alleviate that. I mean, I could see someone in the back in his campaign, his advisor, saying, "You might want to do this to try and make sure you're selling yourself to the religious Democrats." Because there is evangelical Democrats.
There are. But here's the thing, though, is if you're worried about the homosexual aspect of it,
he has to be thinking about it.
Would he go through the lengths of kissing his husband at campaign stops? I mean,
has he done that?
He has done it. I know of at least once where he's done that. But his husband comes with
now,
him.
The question is, will he still do that? Would he still do that if he got the nomination? When he's going out there,
how likely is it that he's going to get the nomination?
It's not. But I'm saying that's my point. When he may still. What I'm saying is that could have been like a little. Okay, we still have to appeal to a certain demographic within our own party that might be apprehensive about who you are. But overall, when he's on the campaign trail, especially when he's going to rallies that are basically mostly his supporters, he doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't have to hide that because it is still it's his people.
Yeah. Within the Democratic Party, though, I think there's. I understand that there is going to be hesitancy about him being a homosexual, because I do admit I do understand that the Democratic Party as a whole, as an electorate, it's not a perfect group of people, obviously.
Like I said, but we're definitely far more liberal, and we're definitely going to be more accepting of that.
But here's the thing: I think that he gets around a lot of that when people sit down and actually just listen to him,
right?
Because he's got a lot of really great ideas. He knows how to sell his points.
Not to the African American community, though. He's really struggling with that.
Okay, but as long as Joe Biden is in the field, everyone else is going to struggle with that. Yeah. That's why Kamala Harris dropped out, because Joe Biden, as long as he is running, is going to get the African American vote.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's just because of his affiliation with Obama?
I think a lot of it has to do with that.
I know a lot of it, but do you think it's the vast majority of that? 'Cause I don't know if that's.
I think it is.
True.
I think a lot of that is.
Because I know he definitely does. It's part of it, but because I've been
out of the field, he's the one with the strongest name recognition because he was vice president,
right? And
he was vice president for the first African American president,
right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Trust me, I like Mayor Pete. I really do. I like Joe Biden. Yeah. I'm not sold on him being president, but
I'm sold on him being president over Donald Trump.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. It's not an issue if it comes down to him and Trump.
But with this whole impeachment thing, I don't know if we're ever going to reach that point.
And why is that?
Because I think this impeachment process is almost going to guarantee a second term for Donald Trump.
Well, that's what I've been saying all along. I've been saying that all along because
we're going to get to they're going to vote next week and pass articles of impeachment.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're
which and he was going to get acquitted
in the Senate.
It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be able to claim victory that was all witch hunt all along. The Democrats that flipped Republican seats
are going
to lose re-election.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is he going to get a second term, Democrats are going to lose the House.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been saying
how does that help impeachment? How does that help anything?
And I think when we talked about this before, I also said it was it was a very, very risky move to go forward with impeachment. But aren't they morally obligated based on their oath to do it when there's an obvious?
So I think they are,
because there's no denying that they're not going for impeachment on arbitrary issues. There's enough evidence,
yes,
to convict him in the Senate. So it's politics that won't.
I don't know. I don't know if there's enough evidence to really convict him in the Senate.
I don't think they would go this far if there wasn't. The Democrats would be foolish at best.
There is definitely a political strategy to this.
Yes, but I'm saying that, and that's it. If they would be completely and utterly foolish to have gone this far and vote for it to go to the Senate if they weren't sure that under a rational Senate they could convict him.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, if you go with circumstantial evidence and not enough where even a non-biased Senate would be like, I don't know, then that would be the dumbest fucking thing they could ever fucking do. The only thing they would have going for them is if they're going to go this far, if this is impeachment, it's going to trial in the Senate, that has to be an ironclad case. Because that's the only thing they'll have going for them.
Nothing ever is, though.
As ironclad as possible.
Especially since
because
you're
if it's
need
not
20 Republicans to go along with
right,
you.
but that's my point. When they don't, and they won't, you at least have the evidence on hand to say, look, we didn't go after this on politics. We went after this because this was legitimate.
Yeah.
They voted against it. They acquitted him for political reasons.
Yeah.
They have to have that. It won't guarantee anything. You're right. They're still going to probably lose. We're going to lose the White House again. We could lose the House, and it could even push the majority in the Senate higher for the Republicans.
Yeah.
It could really screw the Democrats if they don't have at least that one moral high ground to sustain them, though.
But
even with that,
the problem is,
I'm just saying it would have been stupid to even go this far.
But here's the
if
problem,
they were
though,
100% sure they could convict him under rational circumstances.
This is the problem: is you've got two sides that are playing with a very different narrative.
Of course,
you have the Democrats that are running is look, he's abused power, he's obstructed justice, and then you have the Republican side,
which is just a witch hunt.
Yeah, it's a witch hunt. Yes,
and they're demons.
Yes, but if you watch Fox News, which a vast majority of his base, I would say a vast majority.
I'd say all of them.
I would say a vast majority get almost all of their information from Fox News. They get the rest of it from Facebook.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And what I'm saying though is if you look at there's this narrative playing now that it wasn't Russia that interfered in the 2016 election. It was Ukraine.
Right.
Every single U.S. intelligence agency has come out and said
that's not true.
That is not true, and these are lies that are being pushed by Putin in Russia.
Right.
These are actually coming through the Russian government.
But they all believe it.
And you now have Republican senators going on news talk shows talking about, oh, well, it's all Ukraine.
Right.
He was trying to root out what's going on, what happened, what Ukraine's role was in the 2016 election. So you're playing with two very different narratives, two very different sets of facts.
Right.
It's a no-win case.
Fair enough. Then they shouldn't have gone forward with it.
No, and that's why I said from the get-go, look, if you want, I agree, go down the impeachment inquiry road. Say, look, we're going to open an inquiry into it. That way it gives you more power to get information. You can, subpoenas and what have you.
Which Trump just ignored anyway for most of them.
Which is actually in Article 2 of the articles of impeachment,
right,
that'll be passed next week. And I forgot what the fuck I was going now.
That they should have just done.
Oh yeah. So look, go through the whole inquiry process, and then have a press conference on the steps of the House and say, look, this is what we came up with. X, Y, and Z, we believe that there was abuse of power. We believe that there was obstruction of justice which is what they got. One of the things they went after Clinton for. But even though we've found all this information, and these are the facts that we've come up with, because it is so close to the election, we have decided to allow the voters to run the rest of the impeachment process, basically. And and that's probably the way I would have went about it, and I understand the reasoning that they've gone through the process and are at the point they are now,
right?
Which is, that how can you allow the 2020 election to be the impeachment process when he's trying to rig the 2020 election process?
Right.
So I understand, and that's why the Democrats are in a really tough spot.
Yeah. Because
regardless of which way you play, you're going to play into Donald Trump's hands politically.
So, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, yeah, you and I might have said not to, but we're hardly political geniuses either.
No.
So I'm hoping.
I never claimed to be.
No, neither did I. But I'm hoping that there are better minds at play here and maybe know something that we don't, or can, possibly foresee something we can't because they know something we don't. But overall, I've been saying it since the start, since this whole thing started. I've been saying this is a mistake. I want him out, and I do not like people getting away with shit like that just because of who they are.
But he's done his entire life.
Exactly, right. Which makes it even more. I mean, yes, he's done it his whole life, but at least one time I'd like him to fall on his face because of it, to really.
But they literally caught him red fucking handed.
I know. But I've been saying from the beginning that this is a mistake. He is not going to get impeached. Everyone's up.
He will get impeached. He just won't get convicted.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he won't be convicted. He's not leaving office.
No, it's absolutely 0% chance that happens. Right. The other thing I wonder is, first off, is it the right path to go down, which we kind of already went over. But are we now setting a precedent that will cause future presidents to be impeached?
I don't think so, because it quite honestly.
So
I think they probably had grounds to impeach him much sooner.
So what you're saying is,
under President
Obama, the Republicans had a house, had control of the House. Mm-hmm. So you would be fine with them using the impeachment process to say impeach over Benghazi or impeach over Fast and Furious.
No, because those were, questionably legal things, but they weren't.
But that's how the Republican side is playing the narrative,
right?
Because now because that's exactly what.
First of all, there's nothing I can say or do that would either justify or counteract anything Republicans are going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Their playbook is as corrupt and crooked as you could possibly imagine, and it has been for about 20 years now, almost.
Corrupt and
we could go back to Nixon.
There has not been a legitimate Republican president since Eisenhower,
right? Which he left office in 1961.
Yes.
So yeah.
Every single Republican president since then has gained office through coercion or
dubious means. So. And I kind of lost where I was going with that, but
sorry,
that's okay.
And I would say that if you're listening to this and you don't believe me, just message me. We can go over the whole fucking thing.
Right. It's all public. It's all public knowledge.
It is.
None of it's conspiracy theory stuff either. It's all right there. I would say even Reagan was slightly even more corrupt than fucking Nixon, unless you believe the conspiracy theories that Nixon was involved in the Kennedy assassination.
No, I don't really believe that, but. I don't know. So that's kind of what I was thinking is, if Joe Biden wins the 2020 election, but
I don't think Trump will leave anyway.
But the Republicans win the House.
Mm-hmm.
are we going to get into a situation where a Republican majority in the House tries to find any reason to impeach
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
Well,
Because I can see that happening.
I could see it happening too. What I would hope would happen is if Trump loses, it's a big if, but let's say he does. If he loses, whatever power he holds over the Republican Party, I would hope would disappear with that. It may not. It may not. If it doesn't, I can guarantee you, no matter who wins the White House, from now until Trump is dead, and maybe even beyond that, depending on how Don Jr. Handles himself between now and then. It doesn't matter who is in office.
Yeah.
Because we're not even playing with a Republican playbook anymore. We're playing with a Trump playbook.
Yeah.
Which is far worse than any Republican playbook you could possibly imagine.
Yes and no. I mean,
we're talking about a man who has made his entire life is built on lies, theft, coercion. I mean,
look at his charity. Look at
his university.
Look at Trump University.
Yeah, and it's all a con.
It's all a con.
All of it. And his whole fucking life. He has never earned a single penny. He's stolen everything he's ever had. Except for what little was given to him. When I say little, that's
he was given a couple
$40 million,
couple $1 million so
from his dad, and he lost all that. Mm-hmm. Everything he's ever had has been either given to him and lost or stolen.
He filed bankruptcy on a casino. He filed
know.
bankruptcy on a fucking casino.
I know.
It takes a lot of ignorance to do that.
Right.
But.
Well, yeah. A casino is a surefire moneymaker.
Yes.
If you own a casino, you should never be in the red.
No.
Ever.
Everyone knows. Even people that go to the casino all the time know that they're being ripped off by the casino.
Right.
They go in knowing they're going to lose their fucking money.
Exactly. The odds are not in the favor of the players.
Even degenerate gamblers will tell you that.
Yeah. So, but that's my point. He is never. It is always a con with him. Yeah. Everything. Even his presidency is a fucking con.
Yeah.
So it bothers me so much when I see people who I legitimately think are rational people most of the time who just keep overlooking all this stuff. And I know it's for single issues. It has nothing to do with the overall package. It's these little issues that he's managed to hit notes with them.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's immigration or
the economy,
whatever. The economy is doing good mainly because of his tax cuts to the rich, and it'll implode on itself. Well, the economy always gets better for the economy. Stock market.
The economy,
but it's still riding off of Obama's.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is the economy has been steadily getting better for over a decade, right? And then
I'd say for at least 8 years.
The tax cut gives you a bump. But
it's in the stock market.
That bump eventually comes off, and it's going to drop.
Right. Well, because it all goes to the top.
Yes.
I mean, that's where.
So there's no reinvestment.
Exactly. Everything gets top heavy again, and then it collapses.
And that's where tax cuts don't really do anything other than enrich rich people.
Right. Well, no, you're preaching to the choir on that. What do you think of Bloomberg?
I think he's a dumbass.
I know. He came in too late.
No, the only reason he got into the race is because he's like, oh, well, it looks like no one's really taken over. So I think I'm going to get in the race.
I kind of saw it. I mean, his ads, if his ads are any indication of his platform's not bad, but it just looked like to me like a guy who jumped into a physical running race halfway through.
But yeah.
You know, it's all right, I'm jumping in. And,
he got out of a cab halfway through the race.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about him.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm the same way. But it's I don't know. Have you seen John Kasich lately?
No.
He has to be like the last decent rational Republican.
Yeah, well, I would argue that he's decent, but he might still be rational. His abortion policies and his tax policies are not decent. At least they weren't.
Okay. But I'm talking, mainly on this topic.
Okay.
Because
as far as being a Republican.
Because the whole time, for the last year or so, every time he's been asked about it, and every time he's on, talk shows or what have you,
he's a non-Trump guy.
But his response has always been, yeah, I understand what's going on, but I'm not in favor of impeachment. Mm-hmm. His thing has always been, let's get to the election. Mm-hmm. If you don't like him, force him out in the election. Mm-hmm. If you don't like him, put a good candidate out there that can beat him.
Well, which is true.
Over the course of the last month, he's gotten to the point now where he's like, okay, he's now at the point where the president has to, the president needs to be impeached. That it's this whole Ukraine situation has really tainted anything that Donald Trump can touch. Even if he does anything good, it's going to be overshadowed by this.
Right.
And he's not to the point, he's in favor of impeachment. He's not necessarily in favor of removal until he sees how it all plays out in the Senate. Mm-hmm. But at least he understands that what the president did is illegal.
Mm-hmm. Is
it to the point where
he's the only one who say it?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. But then again, he's not in a political position at this time, so he's able to say these things. Right. But that's the thing, though, is
why do Republicans only have spines when they're leaving office or out of office?
Yes.
Yeah, because I would argue that Democrats aren't much better, but Democrats have a tendency to kind of throw themselves under the bus when it comes to things like this, in terms of having a spine. I mean, Al Franken should not have resigned, but he resigned anyway.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was the right thing to do. There's no Republican who would have resigned under those same circumstances at all.
You got Republicans that are, doing all sorts of illegal sex acts,
right,
and still staying in office.
Right. Well, and you got a fucking pedophile running for Senate in Alabama,
and he's going to win.
And most likely he's going to win.
Yeah, he's going to win. He'll win. He'll win in Atlanta. In Alabama.
Yeah. So, and all what Al Franken did was make basically a bad joke in the photo. So
bad, poor comedian. That's the oversensitive part of the Democratic Party
but he still made that decision, and that's what I was saying. They'll throw themselves under the bus.
He didn't have a choice.
He did have a choice.
He did not have a choice.
Yes, he did.
Not in the Democratic Party, because if he had not have resigned, I guarantee 5 minutes later, after his press conference saying he wasn't going to resign, there would have been a woman running against him.
Fine,
but that's what I'm saying, though, is that's the part of the Democratic Party that people attack, is this oversensitive, overreactive portion.
And it's true.
And it's
very true.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah. No, and I mean, we've had this conversation before too. It's that political correctness. It's gone way too far. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it went almost too far from the gates, but at least there was some reason to it.
It started with reasonable ideas, like, look, don't be a fucking racist.
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of grew from there. Yeah. But it's the whole thing with this is the thing that drives me crazy about Republicans. Hillary Clinton makes a comment about deplorables voting for Donald Trump. Okay? And now everyone's like, oh,
she's calling us deplorables.
She's calling us deplorables because we followed. No. She's calling racists fucking deplorables. She's saying it's the scum of society that is voting for Donald Trump. And you wear it like a fucking badge of honor, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
I'm sorry. If you're someone listening to this right now that calls themselves a deplorable because they support President Trump, you're a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. And if you know what, if people stop listening to our show because I say that, fuck them. I really don't care.
Well, we're not getting any money out of this.
No, we're not getting.
That's I've said that.
But
until they start paying us, we're going to say whatever the fuck we want.
And for a long time, I've tried to kind of steer away from that. Mm-hmm. But look, if you're that stupid,
right? No, I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir here.
You are a fucking sheep. Mm-hmm. You are a sheep if you think.
Well, first of all, you lack the idea, the ability in your mind to separate yourself from even though they may agree with you on something, you still are having a difficulty separating yourself from really shitty people.
Yes.
I know there are shitty people in the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
And if someone called us, shitty Democrats, I'd be like, not me.
Not me. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a shitty Democrat. I'm a Democrat. They're the shitty Democrats.
Yes.
So that's the problem. It's that, and we've said this before too. It's that tribal mentality. It's very strong in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very strong on both sides.
It is, but like I said, Democrats.
I mean,
we'll throw ourselves off a cliff.
Just look at Obama and the whole drone thing. I mean, it's Democrats are very supportive of that.
Well, not this Democrat.
Well, not me either. But
so I mean, it's one of the things I challenge him on all the time. But yeah, it's that inability to disconnect yourself from the worst of your group.
It's the low information, low education voter that looks at it and says, "Oh, she's talking about me."
Right.
But she's not.
She wasn't.
She's not talking about you. She's talking about the worst of our society.
Right.
Because look,
she's talking about the Klan members who
I've said it for a long time. Just because you're a racist, just because you're a Republican doesn't make you a racist.
No.
But if you're a racist, more than likely you're a Republican.
Exactly. And it's
true.
Yeah, it is true. And that's what she was talking about. But there wasn't anything that Hillary Clinton could say that anyone on the Republican Party would go, well, she doesn't mean us. Because to them, she is the fucking devil.
Yes.
I mean, they still want to lock her up. She's not even in the public view.
Every single time I see anything, so there's a couple of very, very conservative, like ultra right wing groups I'm part of on Facebook. Just because I don't know if it's like self-harm or whatever it is. I find it somewhat interesting because I like to understand. I try to understand the reasoning that people go through to reach certain conclusions.
Right.
And every single time I see anyone post anything on there like pro-Democrat or against Donald Trump, it always comes back to, and very quickly, to Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. And my thought is always,
and if it's not Hillary Clinton, it's Obama.
No,
Well,
it's almost always.
Well,
Hillary
they
Clinton.
still go after Obama too, all the time.
I would say 98% of it. It's
Hillary.
It's always
Clinton,
Hillary. And my thought is always, the bitch isn't even president.
I know.
She never was president. She's never going to be president.
Why?
Why are you even because you have nothing to grasp onto.
Right.
That's the only thing you have.
And that's kind of what it is.
But that's the thing. It's like there was somebody on there a couple days ago, and I don't even remember the post, but it came back to Hillary's emails, and I'm like, okay, did you have a problem with Colin Powell because Colin Powell did the same fucking thing?
So did Condoleezza Rice.
And actually, it was Colin Powell that actually suggested to Hillary Clinton that that's what she do, is have a private email to do business.
Mm-hmm. And Condoleezza Rice did the same thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've never understood that. And the whole Benghazi thing, the public does not have all the evidence. We don't have this whole story of what happened there. That was a military operation. Once it happened, it was taken over by the military. We don't have all.
Well, the thing that they always go to back with the whole Benghazi thing is, in the aftermath, the first reaction is because of the movie, right?
What movie?
It was I forgot what it was. It was some kind of movie or video. Is what?
Of the attack?
Yeah, no. That sparked the attack.
Oh yeah.
In the direct aftermath of it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
The very next day,
something that insulted Islam for some reason.
Yes, is what the Obama administration. That's what the talking points were. Mm-hmm. Obviously, looking back on it, they were wrong.
Fair enough.
But the thing is, at that time, it was such a fluid situation. They were still trying to figure out what was going on.
Right.
You're right. The correct response probably should have been, we're not sure at this point. Mm-hmm. And we're waiting to have all the information before we make a statement on it. But instead, the Obama administration sent out people the very next day to meet the press and everyone else and talked about this video. Mm-hmm. And it was a direct response to that video. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but that's what everyone hangs there. That's where the Benghazi situation starts.
Well, yeah, but what are they going after her for? It's from what I understood,
they're going after because of the response to the attack.
And I thought it was because there was evidence that the attack was going to happen and nothing was done to stop it.
No, it was that while the attack, in the early stages of the attack, that now this is all just bullshit.
I want to know what they're going after.
In the beginning of the attack, there was ask for help, and that they started sending troops to the area, but the Hillary Clinton stopped the sending of help.
Okay.
Which is complete bullshit. There's absolutely zero evidence to it.
Right. Well, I mean, they didn't seem to have any problems when our own military, our own Air Force didn't shoot down any jets when there was 4 fucking hijacked airplanes flying around, 2 of them for several hours.
Yeah.
And you can't even get an airplane near the fucking White House now. What was it? A flock of birds set off the alarm and shut everything down in Washington?
Yep.
And you can't shoot down a fucking airplane? Do I want them to shoot down a civilian airplane? No. But if it's a matter of killing 900 or 200 people opposed to 3,000 people, shoot the fucking thing down.
Yes.
But no one says anything about that.
No.
Again, but that's a Republican. Republicans can do anything they want, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, they've always had that mentality.
Yeah. Well, but they get away with it too. The people let them do it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, what it always boils down to is if you're bitching about your corrupt governments, they're corrupt because we let them be corrupt.
Absolutely. That's the thing when people talk about, the Democrats want to push socialism. Like, no, they really don't.
No. In fact, they're fighting against it just as much as Republicans are to a degree.
I think the Democrats are victims of their own stupidity and allowing themselves and branding themselves as socialists.
Have they, though?
Yes. Because
Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are pretty far to the left of what the Democratic Party is.
Yes, but it would have made... Because it's all about messaging, man. And I've said it for years. The Democrats suck at messaging. They've had so many opportunities slip through their hands because they can't message something properly to a majority of the country. If you're running for president and you have these democratic socialist ideas of, I want we the people to control things like our water system, our education system, which is kind of the basis of a lot of what Bernie Sanders has talked about for 20 years.
Well, it's socialism at its core.
Yes. Is it better to say, I'm a socialist, which automatically is going to put people off? Or is it better to say, look, these are the programs I want to put in place. I'm not going to label myself.
Right.
Bernie Sanders has spent 20 years, 30 years labeling himself.
Right.
I think it's a lot easier to just approach the situation with ideas than with a label. Because the label automatically, like I said, puts people off.
Well, the other side's going to label you anyway.
Okay, that's fine. But and I understand that.
At least nowadays.
But why label yourself?
Right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just throwing that out there.
But you can't as
because to be fair, Elizabeth Warren has not labeled herself a socialist.
Yes, she kind of has.
No, she hasn't. Not that I've ever heard. I have never heard her once use the word socialist as a descriptive term about herself.
But the thing is, I've said it for a long time. I can't control everything, obviously. I only worry about things I can control. So if someone's going to label me something, and Ian, you've known me for a long time. I've been labeled many different things in my life. But I'm not going to label myself for them.
Right.
I'm just going to do what I can do and let my actions and my words speak for the rest.
Fair enough.
And I feel that far too many Democrats politically don't think like that. They automatically want to, and I don't know if it's just.
I don't think that's a party thing. I think that's a human thing.
Maybe
because we all do that. But that's why there's 75 fucking genders now. Because everyone needs an identity. Everyone needs a group.
Everyone needs a label.
Yeah. So I don't think that's necessarily a party problem.
Yeah.
The thing is that the Republicans have been doing it for so long that we don't even notice them doing it anymore.
But Republicans don't do that though. They don't label themselves.
They do. They label themselves in a very simplistic way: conservative, family values,
Okay.
guns.
Okay.
That's it. They I guess they do it more in the way that you're saying they should do it, but those are labels:
Yeah.
gun supporting, God fearing,
but those are positions.
and conservative.
Those are positions. What's a democratic
When you say
socialist?
God fearing, that's a label. When you say conservative, that's a label.
But what's a okay, conservative, yes, but conservative is also like, and maybe it's something that's gone on for so long, there's obvious ties to that phrase or to that label.
Mm-hmm.
As if you label yourself a democratic socialist, to a large percentage of the country, they don't really know what that means.
Well, and like most labels nowadays,
And I would even say
I'm not even sure the people who say it always know what it
that's
means.
that's what I was kind of getting at. Is I think a lot of people that follow Bernie Sanders, that follow Elizabeth Warren, if you walked up to 10 people that describe themselves as democratic socialists and asked them what that means, you'd get 10 different answers.
Yeah, you're probably right. And the sad thing is that every group, all of them, every political idea has a little element of the right answer in it. Every one of them.
Yeah.
There's something that you can pluck from conservatism. Something you can pluck from socialism, capitalism, communism, even. Little elements that if you pluck them all and put them all together into one little pot,
It works.
it would work. Everything would be fine.
Yeah.
But we can't seem to let go of those labels.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest problem. I don't know what that has anything to do with Trump, because Trump, like I said, is rewriting the whole book.
Yeah.
Everything.
He kind of was the answer, though.
To them, but not to anyone who actually paid attention.
No, I would say he was the answer to a large percentage of the country.
46%.
Okay, enough to win an election. Because here's the thing: Trump was the candidate. Because the Republican Party of 2016 is the Democratic Party now. You've got a super flooded field. You've got a bunch of different personalities out there. Trump was the no labels guy. He didn't fit the traditional mold.
Right.
And that's why I think people even people on the Democratic side, on the left, gravitated to Donald Trump. Because he was in stark contrast to what Hillary Clinton not necessarily was, but what she represented in their eyes,
Which was old school business as usual.
Yes, that kind of corporatist mentality. That kind of, even though Donald Trump is a snake oil salesman,
on a good day he's that.
She represented everything wrong with the Democratic Party. So Donald Trump, the guy's not fucking stupid. He played off of that, and he played off of it perfectly, and he won an election over it.
Well, a good con man will do that.
And he's been proven. It's been proven that he is against everything that this country was founded on. He's against all of the principles that this country was founded on. But it's this tribalist mentality that is keeping Republicans fighting for him against all the information that's put out there.
The thing is I don't honestly think that the Republican politicians that are supporting him, I don't think they're doing it because they believe in him. They're doing it.
It's all about power.
It's all about power because they know that the base supports him.
Yes,
and that if he doesn't like what they're doing, he'll have them primaried.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's almost fear at this point. They're not following him because of
it's
any
not about fear.
idealism.
It's about power. It's about power because they know that it will be very different if a Democrat is president. Mm-hmm. That they won't have the power, especially in the Senate. They will not have the power that they have.
And arguably, they could even lose some of their own base because of the loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the impeachment. I mean, is it justified? Yes. Is it a mess because of what it's going to end up doing? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really think they should have just waited it out. And they could, like you said, do what they did. And if he won re-election, go forward with the criminal proceedings at that point. Because without it, I mean, we could have taken a little bit back on the Senate.
Possibly.
Possibly. But then we'd still be getting 4 years
because
of Pence.
it's the thing is though is you've given up an opportunity to go after the president in a general election for all of his wrongdoing, right? Because he's going to be acquitted. So you kind of give up that angle to attack him on.
Right.
Because how can you attack him when his response is going to be, really, that's funny because I was acquitted by the Senate.
Yeah, well, someone who's smart enough would say, well, OJ was acquitted too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I understand, like I said, I understand why they're doing it because he is attacking.
It's the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do.
It's just the wrong political thing to do.
Exactly.
And I guess in the grand scheme, I'd much rather err on the side of what's right rather than what's politically prudent.
Because here's the thing. If this was President Hillary Clinton doing this, I would have the exact same fucking feelings. And I know that you can take that with a grain of salt if you're listening to this, because
I have no problem questioning
a lot of people will probably hear that and say, "Oh yeah, whatever,"
right,
but she's not president. Right. I seriously, I had big issues with some of the things that Barack Obama did as president.
Me too.
He was still a good president overall. I'm glad he was president, but
I think we gained more than we lost, but yeah. So
we gained a lot more than we lost.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. And I voted for him twice. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. I'm probably a little harsher on him than you are. Ultimately, at the end of the day.
Yes, because I understand the small number of major accomplishments he was able to get done have had a gigantic effect on our country.
Yeah,
just the Affordable Care Act,
right? And even to some degree, in its weakened state, it's still strong. It's still a strong.
Oh yeah,
policy.
Just ask all the people that would be dead because of pre-existing conditions.
Right. Well, going to if you want to compare more of an apple to apple situation, when I voted for Clinton a second term, it was the first year I was old enough to vote. I was 18 in '96.
Yeah,
it was the first election I voted in, and I voted for Clinton. When it came to his impeachment, I didn't support him wholeheartely. I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know if he's convicted, it's convicted on the same by the same standard that any American citizen is convicted on, by a jury of his own peers.
Okay,
to a degree, and that's kind of how it works.
You're talking about the impeachment?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no.
It was never. It's a witch hunt. It's whatever.
No,
I never supported him so blindly.
But a lot of people did. Even today, you'll hear a lot of people say, because I hear all the time, well, Bill Clinton was impeached for getting a blowjob. No.
He was impeached for lying about a blowjob.
Yeah, he was impeached for lying about it.
Yeah.
He definitely perjured himself. He committed a crime. My question is now, as it was then, was what did his crime rise to the level of being removed from office?
Right.
And it didn't.
No. Because and you can even compare that.
Perjury, I would say perjury can rise to that level. But, it wasn't a sexual assault kind of situation.
Right.
It was two consenting adults having a consensual relationship. Yes, it was outside of his marriage.
That's between him and his wife.
That's between him and his wife. And it's like, and Republicans, first off, he was stupid for even putting himself in that position because he knew Republicans have been going after him for years. Right. Jennifer Flowers and everything else.
Yeah, Paula,
he was
whatever her name was.
He was stupid for putting himself in that situation. But when he lied about it, he did commit a crime, but was lying about it
high crime.
High crime. No, and it wasn't. It's not like
it's not like selling out your fucking country.
Yes, which is what Trump is doing.
Yes,
and has admitted. Mick Mulvaney admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And
he's admitting it in a way that, well, yeah, I did that, but it wasn't illegal.
And this is the thing that was kind of like right off the bat. It was, well, was there a quid pro quo? But the problem is, a lot of people don't know what that fucking term means. They should have called it what it was straight from the get go. Fucking bribery.
Extortion. Even
he was, well,
to a degree.
I mean,
do you really want this protection money?
Not really. But he was bribing a foreign power not to start an investigation. He was bribing them to publicly start an investigation. Mm-hmm. From the get-go, it was, we want you to make an announcement that you're going to investigate the Biden family. Mm-hmm. Which over bullshit reasonings. Mm-hmm. That's a bribe. Or extortion, whatever you want to put it.
It's extortion because the country needed that money to protect themselves.
Yes, against Russia.
Right. So it was a win-win for Trump either way.
Exactly.
Because whether Trump was aware of it or not, Putin helped him become president. At least attempted to help him.
Not if you ask the Republicans, because
it doesn't matter.
Here's the thing, though, and this is the thing that
our own intelligence agencies have said as much.
I know that. I know that. But the funny thing is, though, is not only are Republicans saying that it wasn't Russia, it was Ukraine.
Well, and that's new to the narrative.
But it wasn't saying that. It's also saying that it was Ukraine that was working with the Democrats. Which
to
is
lose the election?
Which there is zero fucking evidence.
No.
Zero evidence out there. Like I said, every U.S. intelligence agency has come out and said it's complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, Republicans don't listen to the intelligence of this country anymore.
No, they don't.
Because Trump doesn't listen to them.
No.
And they used to be the party of, strong military, strong intelligence.
Yes.
The CIA was built probably by Republicans, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Between Hoover and Bush Sr.
George Sr., yeah. Who probably had more to do with Kennedy's assassination than Nixon did, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I just watched that documentary. It's conspiracy documentary, I guess.
Yeah.
Again the other day. And, I mean, I can't argue with the facts because I don't know, but he puts together a pretty compelling argument.
Yeah.
Not so much for anyone specific, but for all the players involved. It's it's almost 4 hours long. So
yeah. I don't know. There's definitely some good ones.
Nixon was a puppet of it. He didn't do anything. He just, he was the guy that,
complicit to it all.
He was complicit in the sense that he knew it was happening.
Yeah. So. I don't know, man. That's all I had on the whole thing. It's not the topic we had planned for tonight, but it was. I felt with the current situation that we needed to talk about,
especially since they're trying to get this all pushed through before Christmas.
Yeah,
which I don't think is going to happen. But they're talking about having the trial before Christmas. No, that's not going to happen.
So they said within the last couple of days that they'll pass articles on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. At least that's a projected vote,
which would be what,
and then the trial,
17th or 18th.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be the 18th,
and then it would be the 18th, and then the trial would start after the first of the year.
Okay,
is what they said.
Well, I mean, maybe if they can get the trial done and over with before, say, February, that might give us enough time to really kind of focus on campaigns.
Yeah. It'd be nice to just have it over and done with, but
but it's still, as much as I know he's going to be acquitted, it's going to be so painful to watch that, to hear him gloat.
Oh yeah,
I mean, just to hear him talk makes my stomach turn, but to hear him gloat about it is just going to be, because at its core he's gloating about getting away with breaking the law.
Yeah,
and I just don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of all I had on it. I mean, I kind of going back to the reasoning for the topic. This show was created partially out of the idea that we wanted to talk about things that we didn't really feel were being properly talked about.
Right.
and
stuff that interested us and drives us.
Yes, and I feel like we kind of have gotten away from it because how toxic American politics are, but I feel like we've kind of done a disservice a little bit to our show.
Maybe, but I think I've never been. I've always known that based on how it flows, we did get away from it this year, but next year there was no getting away from it.
No.
So I was okay with it because we're going to need all the energy we can get for what's coming. And we really do.
And it's just, I think just as long as we kind of approach it like we did tonight with kind of a constructive
conversation
except for me kind of going off on my whole rant about deplorables. But
no, in fact, that was good because, like I said, and
it was therapeutic for me.
This is our show. If we can't say what we want to say on our own show, then there's no hope.
Why even have it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if that's how you feel, and I don't disagree with you, then say it.
Yeah.
You can always change your mind later and apologize because that's how life works.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not capable of changing your mind, that's one thing. But if down the road you realize you're wrong, admit it and move on because that's life.
Or just be a Republican, just deny it.
And just exactly, it never happened.
It never happened. It's all bullshit.
Sir, we've got it on recording. It never happened.
It was a witch hunt. It was a witch hunt. All right, man. You got anything else to add?
No, that's it.
As always, you can email any questions or comments to contact@lifeofjoepodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter @LIGpod. We're on Podbean, iTunes, which I guess is not really iTunes anymore. It's Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, our YouTube channel, which apparently they've been having, issues with YouTube, but not with our channel. But
no, our channel's fine.
Our channel. We're not making money off.
No,
our channel,
it's so under the radar that no one even cares.
Yeah. But. We're also on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We've been getting hits off Spotify lately, so
cool.
Keep it up, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate all the support.
I'm glad about that because I actually pay for Spotify.
Yeah.
So if I'm paying for it, they better be doing something about it.
No, they're it's.
I mean, not that they're doing anything, but if we're getting views,
I'm not a user of Spotify because I use Apple Music, but they're I've been on their podcast section of their platform more often lately, and I like the way it's set up.
Yeah,
I
think Spotify is more user friendly with their music too.
I don't think so.
In terms of interface, for me, it is. I don't. The Apple Music is just, I don't know. It's just different, and it doesn't work for me. So,
all right, well, that's all I got.
I think I've said that before. For some reason, I just had the weirdest sense of deja vu that we've said that exact same thing before.
So it wasn't vuja day?
No.
The sudden feeling you've never done this before?
No, I get that all the time, though. But no, legitimately, I think we've had that. I've said that exact same statement before.
I'm sure you have.
So, but anyway.
All right, well, until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck. Standing with niggas who down for that party. Who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water. Bring that shit in bottles.